Hello and welcome to the Debrief here on our Blood Red channel. We're here in the press room inside Anfield. I'm joined by Paul Gorst, the full-time Liverpool correspondent, both home and away. Currently at home watching Liverpool, having watched Liverpool continue at what is their home, which seems to be the top of the league at the moment. They're now 13 points clear. They've won 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was very much, I believe, a mid-Christmas period game. Both teams a bit tired, not at the best. Liverpool got the job done, and we may as well cut straight to it. VAR. There was the goal that Sadio Mane originally had chalked off, then he scored, and then there was the goal that Wolves originally thought they'd scored, and then that got chalked off. So we'll start with the Mane goal first. Was the correct decision reached in the end?
It was. I thought the correct decision was reached for both. As you say, not a lot to say other than the two VAR decisions. The first one comes off Adam Lallana's shoulder, doesn't it? Nowhere near his arm, really. Referee Anthony Taylor gives it for handball, rules it out, and then after what feels like an eternity, it's checking it, and you're waiting, and finally it gets given. I think he even tried to look at offside for Mane as well, didn't he, in the same phase of play. But it wasn't a handball, it didn't come off.
No,
off the line.
They were also looking, apparently they were also looking for whether the referee had blown his whistle before Mane had struck the ball or it gone into the back of the net, which would have then led to all kinds of complications if it turns out that he had, because then Wolves could probably say, well, you know,
we stopped playing.
Exactly. So how do you restart the game? Is it a drop ball to Liverpool inside the area? That would be very odd. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so Anthony Taylor rules it out. Liverpool fans aren't as big a supporter, are they? There was an issue with them at Old Trafford when Divock Origi was boosted by Victor Lindelof and United go up the other end and score, and then Mane gets a goal ruled out in the same game. But they've overruled his decision on this one, haven't they? And then down the other end, Wolves think they've equalised with Pedro Neto, who celebrates like he's just won the Champions League. And then that's ruled out for one of those marginal offsides, which is similar to Roberto Firmino's at Aston Villa, if you remember that. Not a lot in it, but if you are going by the letter of the law, it is offside. But I've said before, these types of offsides now, I don't know what's what. I see the replays, I see the lines come out, all the little squiggly lines and the dotted lines. And I just think, whatever the decision is, we'll just take that and move on with the game and get on with it, because it's just so minuscule and...
Do you feel as though it's Nuno Espirito Santo, or Nuno, as we'll now call him, thankfully, the Wolves manager, he said after the game, it's not, kind of suggests it's not in the spirit of the game. He says these people are making these decisions, they're miles away in the little, in front of the television, hundreds of miles away. They don't feel the game. Like there wasn't a single person inside that stadium there. None of the Liverpool players, none of the Liverpool fans were thinking anything other than, oh no, it's 1-1. But it's... You know, you mentioned the Roberto Firmino one. There was two this weekend. There was Pukki had a goal disallowed for Norwich, I think. Was it Brighton had a goal disallowed where he was borderline offside? But it's one where you could say it's either way. And just as a general point, do you feel as though it's not in the spirit of the game, and that perhaps if VAR was brought in for Liverpool's first goal, a quite clear, obvious error by the referee? Yeah. But nobody made an obvious error for that second goal, did they?
No, I mean, I think I would go along with that and just say, you know, if that gets given and Neto equalises and it's 1-1, you just chalk it up as, one of those decisions, because it's so marginal. No one's seen it. You know, it's not with the naked eye where you can see it mile off the referee or the official have made an absolute blunder. I just can't get my head around these decisions. Conor Cody, the Wolves captain's come out and he was very honest actually in the mix on behind us there and to Sky TV, and he just said it's not working for me, and I can't really understand why these types of decisions are getting given and why it's even a thing. I think it should just be now for me, and we talk about it all the time, and I'm bored of talking about VAR. I hate talking about VAR. I think it detracts from the actual football which we all enjoy. I think it should just be for absolute howler of decisions that referees give, and then maybe if you go to the officials in Stockley Park and you can change those, that's fine. But when you're talking about the offsides, this, you know, for me it really is, it's destroying it. To be perfectly honest, that's how I see it.
We'll move away from VAR then. We'll talk about, you just mentioned the game, the other action that was in it. There were one or two good Liverpool performances. Personally, I did the ratings and I thought Joe Gomez was very good at centre-back. Not the first time, the last couple of weeks where he stepped up and had a very good game. We had the worst sight of Virgil van Dijk making a mistake, which Alisson had to bail him out a little bit. But overall, Liverpool defended well. Wolves, while they weren't quite as good as they were against Manchester City, although admittedly they were playing against 10 men for most of that game, they brought on Traore. He didn't really have much chance, did he? Had one or two runs but going across the pitch rather than heading towards the goal. And while Liverpool, attacking-wise, didn't quite click in the second half. They never really looked like they were going to concede a goal, apart from that one with the Van Dijk mistake.
No, Wolves had a few half chances, didn't they? But they seemed to get a bit of stage fright when they got into certain areas and chose the wrong pass or chose to shoot when they should have laid someone in. But yeah, I agree with you when you say it was a typical like mid-festive period game where both teams' energy levels are a little bit down, a little bit low. You can understand Wolves' perspective for that, playing against Manchester City on the 27th. Now they've got to come to league leaders less than 48 hours and try and put in a performance there. So you can understand why they didn't quite fire on all cylinders today. And Liverpool have just had an absolute mammoth December, and they've been to Austria, they've been to Qatar, they've been playing in the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, the Club World Cup and the Champions League, and it's been a really tough month for Liverpool. So you can understand why they went completely at it today. But when the quality isn't there, and even the energy levels weren't there today, one thing that is always there for Liverpool now is just that mentality, that ability to see out the results and get the noses in front, however they do it, because they didn't really create too many chances that they couldn't think of any that was huge gilt-edged chances that should have put them a goal up or a goal or two up. It's more just the fact that they've dug in when they've needed to, been resolute and come away with another massive 3 points.
Yeah, and as we say, 13 points clear. 2019 is the last time we'll see Liverpool play this year. Champions League winners, world champions. They were able to wear the badge today for the one and only time in the Premier League. Won the UEFA Super Cup. As we say, they've got I think they've taken this 82 points from 84,
since
which
March,
is insane. Which I think we worked out that's 28 games, and I think was that the same points that Leicester got when they won the league.
Wasn't it really?
Yeah, I think it was something like 82 or 81. So that's the kind of level that Liverpool play at the moment. And with such a big lead, is it now a case of there's going to be, we've talked about games where Liverpool go ahead and then they learn to manage the games. Are Liverpool now going to have to manage the season, certainly in the Premier League, because they're so far ahead, they don't have to absolutely go for every single game now, do they?
No, that's a good point. I think when the Champions League resumes in the middle of February, we'll start to see Klopp rotate and juggle his options a little bit more and maybe leave out the big guns for certain games in the Premier League against teams who they normally would be expected to beat. But for now, I think they've got they've got Sheffield United and then Everton, and then a little bit of an easier period, shall we say, in terms of the how much they're asked to travel and how many games they're asked to play. So I think that might see the energy levels return a little bit and they'll freshen up. They'll obviously have Minamino on board by then. So Liverpool's just got to kind of knuckle down for the next couple of games. That Everton won the FA Cup, they can't even dream of losing that one, can they? They're 21 year.
It will be interesting to see what happens there, because obviously Nat Phillips will be back as well. And there's every suggestion he could even be involved in that game. Yeah,
I mean, I think Liverpool fans would take winning that game and then just giving Everton the bye for the FA Cup. I just don't think Liverpool want to lose that game at all. Carlo Ancelotti, revitalised Everton and all that. So the next two games are big for Liverpool. They all are really, but I think after that Everton game, you might see a little bit of the energy levels return a little bit more.
And that should do us. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas to whatever's left of it, and a Happy New Year.